Family, thank you for joining me here at the American News Network with Chris Sanders. Well, Zelensky, he is basically retiring because Trump's not giving this kid the tomahawks. Putin said, you're going to give him tomahawks, we are giving Iran nuclear weapons. And since this has been on the table, ladies and gentlemen, I believe he's already done it. So heads up there, Israel. I think Khomeini, he has been designated as the HMIC and shall be receiving something courtesy of Laddie P in the KGB. So heads up out there, too, can play this game. If we want to give the Ukraine some dangerous toys, then Putin's going to give some dangerous toys. He's going to be giving the Ukraine some toys. Trump has. So now we're going to have Putin give Iran some toys. We have China giving Iran toys and Egypt getting toys from China. And soon I'm hearing that we've had a toy delivery to Cuba and Venezuela already, courtesy of China and Russia with love. And that's what you're seeing is the United States deploys 10,000 troops out to Puerto Rico, down there towards Venezuela. We got B-52s in the sky, Night Stalkers, a whole bunch of interesting gear. We voted for a pathway to peace. Today is the No Kings Day in America. And why? I mean, we have peace. This war you see behind me is merely an illusion. We're just moving 10,000 troops out, and we really didn't fund Israel to do all that destruction, but I do want you to know, in the last 72 hours, since we have had the ceasefire, good old Benjamin Netanyahu is bombing 6 countries as we speak. That's how peaceful that peace plan is, and I guess that's why we didn't get that Nobel Peace Prize. Chris, what do you mean? What countries could this be? Well, Lebanon, besides Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Tunisia, Qatar, and now Yemen, all courtesy of Uncle Sam, our kids, you and I, were getting that bill, whether we want it or not. Who is the true king, I would like to ask you? Is it Orange Man Good with watermelon balls, or is it really the Bibi, the Polish guy that's imitating to be a Jew, running the synagogue of Satan? Revelation 2:9. When a group of Jews shall go back and pretend that they are Jews and that they are not, but they are really actually a synagogue of Satan. I was talking about 1 through 7, 1 Sunday, 7 Saturday. And a lot of people didn't know this, but the Jews worship Shabbat. And Shabbat is the god of Saturn. And so we have sun gods worshipers and then Saturn worshipers. And Saturn used to be way more visible. Interesting enough, 6, 6, and 6. With those 6 sticks, you can create the Star of David. But interestingly enough, in the middle is a hexagon in how you make a hex. And on the top of Saturn is a hex. As we have 2,500 cities unifying today in the United States of America for no kings, and that we hear that Mark Wayne Mullins, that's right, senator out of the great state of Oklahoma, has found out that it was in fact majorly. It's not only just Soros and people like that, but the United States Communist Party. So the Communist Party of the United States of America is funding no kings. I'm sorry, if there's an altercation or a cleanup job, shouldn't all those people get the bill? And we have cities like LA, Dallas, Chicago. It's going off everywhere. And I'm assuming law enforcement's going to be taking pictures and names. Chuck Schumer's handing it down with you. I'm going to give you some good names as far as people that have gone against the orangeness of America. That zestfully clean. Are you zestfully clean, or are you that Irish Spring, fresh and clean as a whistle? No, I'm asking you because Letitia James and John Bolton and Jack Smith aren't going to be getting any of that type of soap while we're sitting there wondering if they should pick it up after they dropped it in El Prison. That's right, you heard me, Jack Smith, John Bolton, and Letitia James, the famous band Duran Duran. You probably heard of them. Well, they're probably going to go to the can together Ooh, yes, they're going to come undone. Now, besides that, soon we're going to have Hillary. We're going to have Obama, Brennan, Clapper, Comey, get ready. Schiff, get ready. This is USC 18241, conspiracy and weaponizing judicial branches against candidates and other people. No statute of limitation here. This is true stuff. We got a civil war on our horizon. Even though we voted for a platform for peace, I've never seen us gear up to go to war so badly. So we've been duped to an extent, and it's pretty bad. As I said, we've got 10,000 troops that are near and getting ready to dissipate hell and dish it out in Venezuela. Old relics, if you ask me, but they've been retrofitted, and I'm talking they were even old during the days of Ronald Reagan. World War II, they even make your grandpa look brand new. I'm talking B-52s and all this type of stuff. We're dishing it out. I think we got to probably empty old cargoes, what it seems like to me. But there we go, on with the flow. Echo Mad Dogs are rolling out. We've got some new gear, old gear, Night Stalkers. But we don't have to do this war at all. You see, they're Christians, and we're trying to overthrow that government. Really, and we're trying to start a coup. Our CIA does that. We have $100 to $150 million bounties on Maduro and his generals. And it's all over oil. And I'm an oil and gas producer, so I ought to, tell you, you can go to thebarnettshale.com or frackking.com and do some investigating. But it's over oil. Now, why would that be? Well, our ally, who's not our ally, Netanyahu, he keeps on blowing up OPEC. Qatar, Yemen, all around Saudi. They can't even make moves, and they've pissed off the Arabs to kingdom come. And they're misconstruing the Bible. You see, in the Bible, Abraham was blessed, and it said, whoever curses you, he will curse. This was a promise to Abraham. And you're taking that as if it's a promise to Israel. The reason why, now let me articulately explain this to you, that they can't use that term, is that Abraham was not only the father of Israel and Isaac through Sarah, but his firstborn child was through Hagar, the maid, and Ishmael. So he's also the father of the lineage of all of the Arabs and all of the kings and queens of Persia and Saudi Arabia. And a lot of people in America do not know that. And to be Semitic, you have to speak an Arabic and Aramaic language, and that doesn't include Yiddish or some new former type of Hebrew. Shalamut Ahmed Yahudi. You have to know Arabic or ancient Aramaic. And that would be to be on the requirements of this. And many people don't understand that. But the B-52s, Night Stalkers, U.S., we're about to storm there. Maduro, he also offered, he says, Trump, I don't want a war with, he probably said it more like this, Trump, I do not want a war with you, my friend amigo, puto. I, in fact, want to give it to you, gallos de combate, mis huevos en tus manos. What? And Trump said, no, we are ready to, these are my cartoon character voice. No, we are ready to blow you up, Maduro. By the way, all these submarines and boats, not buying it because they don't have the range to make it to America. So if anything, where are these guys going? To Puerto Rico or Jamaica or the Cayman Islands? Because I'm not seeing the range to make it even to Florida with them skiffs, even at a high power. That's just a thought to think and culminate over for any boat captains. I'll be like, geez, he's kind of right about those things. So as we are dominating the skies over Venezuela for that oil, because Suriname, French Guiana, north parts of Brazil, they're going to be ours. You get me, Kuta Kente, it's going to be coming down the pipeline, so they say. Well, as we are getting strong and being the tough guy in America, and do we need to be? The answer is no. We have no war with the people of Venezuela. This is the most ridiculous stuff I've ever heard. or Brazil or anybody in South America. These are not our enemies because we are built on the foundation of Jesus Christ. 100% en el nombre de Jesús. From the cielo to everything, we're united through our foundation. This is ridiculous. If OPEC shuts us down because of their faith differences, and what I was getting at is the Jews can't claim they're the chosen ones because of the promise to Abraham, because he's the father of the Muslims as well through Hagar and Ishmael. And so that exact statement in the Bible applies to both the Muslims and the Jews, because Abraham is the father of the Muslims and the Jews, Father Abraham, from all of his sons. And all of his sons had Father Abraham. And I am one of them, and so are you. So let's go over and take over the world. And anyways, now we have Putin dominating the skies of Norway. Russia spy plane breaches NATO zones, and he's breaching it hard. He's like, you want to threaten me with Kaliningrad, you broke pansies? Let me tell you something. Trump ain't giving the tomahawks. You guys are broke, Ursula. So the EU and NATO are frothing at war, and basically Putin's laughing, saying, I am going to destroy you woke pansy snowflakes in the name of Jesus Christ. And you know, when I hear that, I'm like, oh, wait a second here. Did you say Jesus, Putin? You're really like a Christian like I am hardcore, huh? And he's against this perversion that Netanyahu and the Zionists have brought in. Well, I like what I'm hearing. I'm seeing that we need to have a unification between what is right in America, and every single pedophile that's gone to Epstein Island where the Mossad wants to have blackmail over our pansies that are really a den of vipers. Well, time to clean house. So here we have Putin, and he's exposing some things also. Didn't know that even one of Trump's head henchmen guys is actually a George Soros tie-in employee. And we've got a lot of people that are kind of all in that synagogue together with really high places, and I want you to have a heads up about it. Okay, so these are the things that we're looking at today. And I'm telling you, Jack Smith's got a cozy little cottage that's being planned for him and Sam Quinton. Maybe even Alcatraz, we could make that happen. But no more kings is happening. And I want to give a little break here side to the president of Israel, who has purchased all of this out through what's called APAC here. And listen to this.
He said, we talked about the woke right. He said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke right, because these people, you know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're movies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is class followers. TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. X. That's very good. And, you know, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the...
Shutdown now dragging into day 18 with no end in sight. Senate Democrats repeatedly rejecting a new funding bill What do Republicans plan to do? Well, look who's here in studio. Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullin joins me now. Senator Mullin, I want to get to the shutdown, but first I want to talk about this so-called No Kings protest. Your team exposed this, and you found a poster. Apparently, they're touting the communists.
Yeah, well, it's actually sponsored. If you look at their sponsorship of the No Kings rally, it says CPUSA, which is the Communist Party of the United States of America. And it actually has the same symbol that the old Soviet Union used to have on it. When my team first saw it, they looked at it and they said, is this for real? We researched it, and sure enough, you can see it right there in the bottom left-hand corner where it says CPUSA. You're going, okay, there's a reason why Republicans are calling this an anti-American rally. It is exactly what it is. When you have the Communist Party that's sponsoring it, you're saying that's pro-America? Come on, give me a break. And you're protesting on the streets that President Trump made safe. You're protesting on the streets that President Trump has made it possible for you to actually walk outside. I mean, you're protesting President Trump, who's secured the border, who's lowered inflation, who's brought down gas prices, who's had morale in the military at the highest it's been, you go through the optimistic outlook for the American people, and they're saying that this is the first time they feel hopeful about it. He's ended 8 wars. He's brought home the hostages in Israel, and yet you still see signs out there that says Free Palestine. I mean, are you kidding? You can't make this stuff up. What are you exactly protesting other than your hatred towards President Trump? And it's absolutely absurd. And you have the Communist Party that's sponsoring you?
Yeah, the Communist Party USA, you see that there in that poster. And yet your colleague in...
I think we have to stop where we are. And he is right. President is right. And we have to stop where we are. This is important, to stop where we are and then to speak. We trust United States. We trust President that he wants to finish this war. And it's difficult. It's very tough solution. It's understandable why. And for us, it's essential, our land and our country, because it's a part of our independence, not just, meters or this is very important. It's about our sovereignty. So we think that it was also difficult to manage in the situation in the Middle East, and if President was successful in it, I hope that he will manage this situation. Of course, the question of territory is a very sensitive question, very sensitive, and the most.
Here's the real reason why he's succumbing. So the little turd went out and he's been hitting nuclear facilities in his own country. You heard me right. He's using our gear to attack his own nuclear facilities. As such, he's apprehending the people in Odessa, trying to take and commandeer that over, but then Kinzhal has been unleashed. The new technology from Russia with love. This thing's coming in Mach 10 plus. They don't even have any way to protect themselves, and Putin smashed them to kingdom come. In the name of Jesus. So there you go. Ukraine's gone and down, and that's what you're looking at, Europe. You better calm down. What do you want us to help you fight Putin? What are you, crazy? So that you can what? Keep up your woke, retard, open border stuff to make you look even more rejectionable than you are today? Because in the 90s, it's like we had Europe. Today, I look at Europe and I think that I'm maybe in the Middle East or some third world country because you've let your doors open for so long. You're not even recognizable. But you're not the only one. We're doing it here too. You have to study numbers and realize like 72 Jews walked on down into Egypt and then became millions, 2 million within a few hundred years. So why on earth do we have 600,000 illegal alien Chinese students here? Oh, well, they're not. They have a student visa. Well, kiss my ass. I don't want to pay the tax money for them. In fact, why am I paying all these taxes? You promised me that I don't. Now I'm in the hole because I listened to you, liars. Who else is in there with me? Oh, you listen to like DeSantis or Abbott or whoever they want to say, we're not going to give you taxes, but it's, really just stuff so that they can rob from Peter to pay Paul. And I guess they learned that from AIPAC because we give AIPAC $5 billion a year. Then they compound that, then they bribe our own politicians, steal more of our money, and get us to blow countries up. Like I said today, you want a peace deal? Here's the truth about your peace deal. In the last 72 hours, while this peace deal has been going on, okay, besides Zelensky and our by-proxy war into Russia, which is a fact, in the past 3 days and 72 hours, Benjamin Netanyahu has bombed Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Tunisia, Qatar, and Yemen, destroying the relationship with 2 billion Muslims. And again, they are all related through Abraham. So, curse those that curse Israel. No, it was curse those that curse Abraham, and his kids are the seeds of Islam and Judaism. So put that in your pipe and smoke it and try to get along for the day. But why are they visiting us? Well, they're out there on the sand, and their faith is about as, sandy as it gets. They didn't have anybody that died for them like who died for me. For no greater love is this than someone that died for me for my sins. And through his grace I can be saved. And boy, do I need somebody's grace. And through that grace, we all can be saved. And he was perfection when perfection came, and it took a lot of good and a lot of bad, a lot of good Jews and bad Jews. Kings that followed the code and followed God, and kings that didn't. And every time they strayed from God, like I say, the book of Esther, Zechariah, Nebuchadnezzar, gouged his eyes out, killed his kids, fed him scraps underneath his table with chains. Don't think that Israel wins all the time. A king came in from somewhere else and made him understand something. And so there are a lot of interesting things that are going on, and I want you to understand in America we have some interesting. There was a General Order number 11. It was a very controversial order issued by the Union, Major General Ulysses S. Grant, on December 17th, 1862. During the Vicksburg campaign, took place during the American Civil War. And they expelled all the Jews from Grant's military district and the areas of Tennessee, Mississippi, and Kentucky. What? Yes, so they've been kicked out of 109 countries, but even in America will cover up the fact that during the Civil War, they were expelled all from the areas of Tennessee, Mississippi, and Kentucky by Ulysses S. Grant, General Order number 11. And these are things to understand about the history of our own country. And it's going to be us or them pretty soon. Now, I'm going to tell you about propaganda. October 7th is total propaganda lie. And I ask you, why are we so concerned about 20 to 40 hostages when in every city in America we got 20 or 40 hostages of fentanyl, courtesy of China draining us on one side with Israel, as we are losing to the war on drugs of fentanyl. And it's not the cocaine coming out of Venezuela that's killing us, Mr. President, or Colombia. No, it's the combined effort through China, who's our real effort through Xi Jinping. See, since the 70s and 80s, we've had an open door through the CIA and you guys influxing America through crack and cocaine. The problem is that's how it's getting poisoned today and killing all of our kids, while you're then flooding us full of Muslims and illegal aliens and disintegrating the fabric of America, just like you disintegrated the fabric of Europe. And the common denominators are George Soros, people like that with Zelensky and Netanyahu. You want to know who the king is? Well, if Trump was our king, we'd be going on a pathway to peace. But since Epstein Island and some sort of conspiracy and some sort of blackmail, have you noticed we went from Trump's platform to Netanyahu's platform in the blink of an eye? And now we're protecting pedophiles in the synagogue of Satan as we're bombing countries, and Egypt knows it, Jordan knows it, Turkey knows it, Saudi Arabia knows it, because it's not Israel, it's their corrupt leader And we, the American people, demand an end to the relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu, period. He's an evil man. He's killed children, and we've had enough of it. Israel, you need to get yourself another leader because we're sick of Benjamin Netanyahu. He did buy TikTok. Are you happy? Then they want to buy X. They want to control all the AI, all the Google, so that they did everything in the world, and they're superior, and you're trash at the cost. And guess who's paying for it? You and I and our kids and grandkids. No, sir, no, thank you. No, sir, no, ma'am. We serve our country, our Constitution. Everybody that goes to Israel and has a joint diplomatic passport, you're hereby fired because you violated your Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. For it's one nation under God, indivisible. Now, if you're divided with another country, it's not divisible. If you're floating the Ukrainian flag or the Israeli flag, it's not divisible. You've been divided. You've violated your Pledge of Allegiance to our country and are hereby fired. And we have the evidence. We've seen it on video. Pick up your bag and walk. And we have the faith in you. Remember when Jesus said to the person, do you want to be lame? Well, America doesn't want to be lame either. So if you don't want America to be lame, all of you corrupt politicians that have taken APAC money, which is our money, pick up your mat, get your crap, and get out of Congress today and do the service of America. You think we like to see 82-year-olds falling over that can barely hobble that should be in an old folks' home, like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell? You think that they're accurate or sharp? Or do you think that they're just old turd reject, half-budget lawyers that are raping us over the coals at the cost of freedom and liberty and justice for the country? Well, we know what the truth is. And the truth is, we need to clean house. Everybody that's been in Senate for over 8 years, you should retire today. Same with Congress. Term limitations are the only thing that's going to save us. And that's just the truth. As far as Hamas or the IDF, well, we saw the Hamas shooting the Hamas. Now, what could that be about? I told you there's no such thing. The Hamas is the IDF. When the Muslims revolt because of the children getting killed, it is not Hamas. That is a Netanyahu theater operation for you and I. When the Muslims revolt in the name of a jihad, we will be looking at Hezbollah, which is in God's way, which is the unification of all Muslims to do what's right because something has been done wrong. Now, this is a family affair over there. I suggest we let the family duke it out, close the border, concentrate on ourselves. I'd like it if we drilled Texas and the crap out of California, but California has been invaded by China and Israel as well. Yeah, we got AIPAC and Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi, and it's this angle of China and Israel that are our biggest enemies of the United States. But we're not alone. Look at Europe. It's fallen. Look at Britain. Look at Norway. Norway today is 33% Arabic Islam. And in another 10 years, it'll be the majority and it'll be gone. I want you to know that you've been invaded. The time is too far. Your freedoms have been denigrated. Soon you'll be wearing a turban. You better bow down 5 times a day and accept the consequences with what's headed your way. Or you got to understand, Grandma, Grandpa, these are times to act and to act now. It's no laughing matter. I want the people of Ireland to unify. They need to. We know that Marco Rubio was basically examined and curtailed, and everyone was on the cabinet by Israel for an approval. Does that work with you? Does that work that they were all hand selected by another country that undoubtedly owns us because we have let lobbying legal? Lobbying is another word, and lobbying was invented in the whorehouse, but it's just another word for bribery. And it was done in the lobby, bribery, and it, according to me, is an Article 2, Section 4 violation of the United States Constitution, and the one thing in the loophole that is tearing us apart. Proud to say I'm very good friends with people like Dana Rohrabacher, Congressman Dana Rohrabacher, and he didn't take a kickback or a dollar ever. And there's damn few politicians like him and Jim Jordan that are worth the salt to represent you and I efficiently and as an American that does their job. I want to thank Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the good Americans that we have that serve us and that try to defend us every day. And they are few and far between. And if you have not taken any AIPAC money, you are the few and far between that should be saved. I have a theory about why Charlie Kirk got killed. He gave this book to me a few months beforehand. Yeah, it's pretty good. It gives you the formula on how to take apart the media, the government, and destroy the relationship ties that we do have with the very people that killed them. No kidding. Could it be El Guapo? Well, I guess you'd have to read it to understand the keys that they didn't want you to know. And you know it's a cover-up. Wasn't a 30-06. You know it was from the back right going out through the front. We know all these things from the evidence. We know that there's security that wasn't on scene correct. We know this is a Lee Harvey Oswald story with the Jack Ruby attached, and last time we got that type of patsy situation with JFK, common denominator through AI and all the unredacted files points at Israel. So there you go, if that's okay with you. But we know that the CIA is in there, or the Mossad, because I say this because they paved the ground where he got shot. I say this because Tyler Robinson went to a Dairy Queen, but they bought the Dairy Queen, so you couldn't even examine anything in there anymore, and they're taking it down. Just like all the phony vote things that they got too when they replaced Trump. These are the forces that we're fighting. And until you take away 2/3 of the FBI and 2/3 of the CIA, we will never have our freedom, and you need to start with term limitations with the United States. Vote on this immediately. This is our only chance, and that's just all that there is to it. So this Tomahawk cruise warning, it literally has happened, and Putin responded already. It's like, look, you even talking about that, you jackwagons? I'm arming Iran. I am sick of hearing your bullshit. They have them. And he also gave them $9.6 billion in really high-end Stage 5 aircraft with Russians and S-400, S-500 missile systems. He's like, I'm just sick of your crap, America. Stop screwing with Iran. That's what China's saying too. And now they have troops there. So if you hit Iran, you're hitting Russia and China. Same thing with Israel, because now we have 200 guys in Gaza, 200 guys in Jerusalem to operate our Patriot systems that are only working about at 7% effectiveness in the Ukraine. Heads up, fellas, because Russian jamming and satellite systems really work. And all Jackwagon Joe did was enable them to figure it all out. So Lavrov's out there. Belarus is out there. Belarus has nukes. Kaliningrad has nukes. They're ready to take out all of Europe. They'd rather not. What Russia wants is, they want you to know, apprehend Ursula, throw her in a jail, throw and dissolve NATO, call it a day, and let's take over and save Europe together, the United States and Russia. We're your only hope, because the EU is a woke, defunct outfit like the Democrat Party. It's a communistic thing like all of these No Kings protesters. You guys aren't worth tits on a boar. Why don't you grow up and milk a cow or something instead of my billy goat, you know, whatever. I'm just going to tell you, it's not the same kind of milk, gentlemen. That is, unless you want to go into the Navy and just be a seaman your whole entire life, but you are what you eat, remember that. So anyways, Putin's going to lay it out, and he's telling us, America, you better pull out of Venezuela like Jack Wagon's dad should have. And same thing with this guy. He's pretty much had enough of it too. And I want to continue to live for the red, white, and blue, considering that is us. And us and Russia can unify in Christ. That was the best Jew of all, by the way. And through that rock and foundation of love, we can win. Now, to all of you people that went out on your No Kings protest today, I hope you make it home safely. And I hope you got to meet people and talk. And Trump wants the Nobel Peace Prize, but yeah, with 6 countries we bombed in the last 72 hours, that's food for thought. And by the unification of all these young kids, that should have us wake up and realize that America is not happy, and that George Soros and his networks have not truly won, and that through the streets and the internet, America is fighting for justice. So that is the word out there out on the streets. We see that Europe and America have really had it with America intervention. And I think the king that has intervened, that controls our king, his name is Benjamin Netanyahu. We voted for peace, but now we're going to war. And there's a common denominator. We're fighting 6 wars over there through Israel. It's making us look like the world jerk. China, North Korea, Russia, everybody's like, just stop following this guy and his racist genocide war path. But we can't do it because we've been purchased and we know it. So we got to spread the message so that we all know it, so that we can unify, because our freedom is on the line. My name is Chris Sanders. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for the AM, FM radios that also stream us. We are a major news network on all on Roku TVs. And I hope everybody has a good, blessed day today. Remember that if you're an American, we're all on the same side, and we should all be able to debate each other in peace, love, and harmony. Now, I do want you to know that Israel did buy TikTok, and they closed down over half the conservative channels. That's a violation of our amendments. We have been infiltrated and attacked by 2 countries, by Israel through APEC and through China through bribery and trade. And our Constitution must be upheld and enforced. Good day.